Hello viewers, Morgana Galaxy here. Thank you for joining me on my channel for some tarot reading. So I want to start to look today at the stimulus package. It's been really going through some ups and downs. And the reason I want to look at it is because, as you know, as soon as Trump came out of the hospital and returned to the White House, one of the first things that he said he wanted to do, or one of the first directives that he gave, was for Congress to stop, working on this stimulus package until after he wins the election. And then he's going to put out the biggest, greatest stimulus package ever. Everyone freaked out, and I think the same day, backtracked. So he wants some money for airlines and for some other things, some big corporation type of stuff. It seems to me probably what happened was, he threw that tweet out there to stop talks on the stimulus package, and different industries were like, what? No. So he's backtracking. I don't think, it's just so hard to imagine how someone who just came out of the hospital, who still has coronavirus, wants to stop assistance to the American people because of this economic downturn we're going through because of COVID. Anyways, I want to take a look at the stimulus package. Democrats have like a 2-point trillion package. Republicans are coming back with a 1-point-something trillion package. They're just not meeting in the middle. Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi, resumed talks. Nothing's happening. And folks are getting evicted. Folks are not able to pay their mortgages and their rents. It's just a tragedy, right? I want to take a look at the stimulus package. Let's see, how should we ask this? I think they basically got something. Well, Trump's executive order has extra unemployment insurance taken care of through January for those states that applied for it. I don't know if we want to look past January, but that's when Biden takes office. So I want to just ask, for 2020, before the end of this year, before 2021. So this year, 2020, spirits and guides, I really want to know, will a stimulus package be passed by the House and the Senate and be enacted to assist the American people before the end of the year? Will a stimulus package be passed before the end of the year while we're still in the Trump administration? That's what I want to know. Are we going to get a stimulus package by the end of December of this year? Spirit, can you please show us information? Stimulus package. Stimulus package. Stimulus package. All right, let's take a look. Okay, just doing a little modified Celtic cross here, and so first off the bat, what we're looking at is an agreement. So this is good. The parties are talking, whether this is Nancy and Steve Mnuchin or the Dems and the Republicans. There is communication. They're working towards an agreement. They are working towards an agreement. I think we're at a place now where both parties want to make this happen. The whole sticking point has been the number, right? Are we in the under 2 trillion or over 2 trillion? Is this going to be corporate and business focused, or is this going to put money in the pockets of everyday Americans? That's been the big sticking point with this package, but they both want to make it happen. They're both talking, and it looks like if an agreement, looks like an agreement is very close to being made. What's opposing, or what's the challenge with the situation here, is the wish fulfillment card. What is this? A 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups. So the challenge is each party getting what they want. The Democrats want a much larger package, giving much more stimulus across the board, right? So schools, everyday Americans, some small businesses, and the Republicans want to focus, like on airlines, big corporations, legal protections from lawsuits, and a much smaller amount for Americans. Really importantly, with that unemployment bump, it used to be $600. That ended in the end of July. And Democrats want to keep that at $600. Republicans has floated as low as $200. I think Democrats are trying to bring them up there to make something meaningful for Americans. Their number one complaint is paying Americans more money than they made at their jobs to disincentivize them for returning to work. And, I hate that argument because, Republicans have always had this talking point that Americans are lazy and don't want to work, and if you give them any opportunity, they'll just stay home and be lazy. And I don't think that's true. By all accounts, people don't want to do that. Now, there are Americans who've had the thumb on them their whole lives, who've been working their fingers to the bone for decades, working 2 jobs, can never get by, can't afford that medical, can't afford that dental, barely have any groceries. I'm talking about the poorest of the poor people. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they had a chance to take a little break from that grind, that they would take it. But eventually, people get antsy and want to do something, whether it's go to work, make money, or go into some creative pursuit, pursue some meaningful hobby, go into art or music. What I'm saying is people were active beings. So off my soapbox, I don't believe that crap about people being lazy. But that's the thing, right? They didn't want to pay people too much. So they're trying to lowball the unemployment. But anyways, back to the card. What this is saying is that the challenge is everyone getting what they want. Democrats want what they want. Republicans want what they want. This is a sticking point. What are they going to pay for? Where's the money going to go? That's a challenge. What's in the sky above them is temperance. So the angel of moderation. So this is telling them that really what they need to be focused on, what they should be working towards is balance and moderation. So yes, both sides will need to compromise here. And they need to compromise in a way that satisfies both of their main requirements or their main desires or wants for the stimulus package. It's a balancing act. So no, it can't all go into corporations. You have to help the American people. And maybe, no, you can't just fork money over to the American people alone. You also have to support small businesses and large businesses, whatever. It's not my thing, but this card is calling for balance and moderation in their talks for this package. What's behind them in the past with the High Priestess is secret keeping. So this wise priestess, holds the secrets. She knows what to keep hidden and what to reveal and when. So this is what we've been through, or I should say what the House and Senate have been through, and it's just indicating just a lack of integrity in these talks, a lot of posturing, a lot of illusion, a lot of maybe some lying, basically holding on to their cards, keeping some secrets, not being on the up and up. Just, it just wasn't a forthright conversation, a forthright working together in the past. However, moving forward with the Three of Pentacles, what we can look for here is this is the agreement. They are going to work together to build a new creation, to build a new stimulus package. So they are going to come to some agreement. There's contracts here. This is the agreement. The skilled people working together will build this house, this support, this foundation for all of us. So, what this is telling me is that yes, we will get a stimulus package, hopefully by the end of the year. So while there was some shadiness going on in the past, they are being called now to come together and craft a contract, to craft an agreement. This balance and moderation is in the air. They need to get this done. What I missed on the bottom here, what's foundational to this reading, is the Knight of Wands. Excuse me. And this is showing us the dire need of the American people for this stimulus. This fast-moving knight with this wand, is galloping onto the scene saying, we need to have this done. We need action. We need support. We need. Americans are desperate right now. The whole, what was it? The eviction moratorium has expired. People's unemployment is expiring. Jobs aren't coming back as fast as we need. People are broke and desperate. We see these stories every day on the news. They need action. I think it must be that desperation, that's finally sinking in to Congress to get this work done, get it done. So yeah, I think that something's going to happen. Again, that challenge was everyone getting what they wanted. They absolutely have to compromise. And I really hope that, my personal hope is that compromise comes in the money that are given to big corporations, and that there's a lot more oversight and control over where this money goes, so that the biggest bulk of that cash will go to everyday Americans like you and me, who need that to survive every day. All right, so the next thing I want to look at today is Amy Coney-Barrett. I want to do a follow-up reading on one I did not too long ago, where I asked, the quickest way to end this misbehavior around this justice, the seat on the Supreme Court bench, is if 4 Republicans just won't vote. If McConnell doesn't have the votes, the issue's done. That would be the easiest, fastest way to resolve this. And at the time, we have 2 no's already with Murkowski and O'Connell? Donald? The Alaska, his Murkowski. She's already fallen out of my memory. Anyway, so there's already 2 Republican no's. We need 2 more. When there's 4, it's a done deal. And as you know, there's some senators who've caught COVID, 2 from the Judiciary Committee. So right there's your other 2. And then there's a 3rd Republican senator who also came down with COVID. So the idea is, they need to be quarantining, but the law states that for this Supreme Court confirmation, they have to be present. They have to be present, physically present, in order to cast that vote. So if they're quarantining because they're sick, the whole thing falls apart. So that's what I want to look at. Is that going to happen? So Spirit, can you show me, can you show me Amy Coney-Barrett's nomination? Will 4 Republican senators say no, they will not vote, or be unable to vote, so this thing falls through? I'd like to know if we reach the magic number of 4 to cease the Amy Coney-Barrett vote. Spirit, this is what I want to take a look at. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, so we have we were starting out with the 3 of Cups. Starting out with the 3 of Cups, and I'm immediately split in 2 ways here. So I want to kind of get into this energy to feel what this 3 of Cups is. Because, you know, on the one hand, it could be Republicans celebrating that they're going to stick another Supreme Court justice on the bench. But then again, I'm getting maybe there's 3 now who are unable, that we have 3 no's. So the card means celebration. It is a celebration. It's a feel-good card, a lot of joy. So I think because it's a joy, and you know, being too sick to vote, that would not be a joyful experience. So yeah, I'm saying for right now, at the base of this reading, they're still thinking they're going to push this nominee through. They're still thinking that they're going to get this done. They're thrilled with the prospect of getting another Supreme Court, a Republican Supreme Court nominee on the bench. So they're still thinking, thrilled that this is going to happen. But they're being challenged by the fact that everything is falling apart around them. You know, although the senator's getting COVID, the president has COVID, the White House is a COVID hotspot right now. There's, you know, 19 plus people who've been affected from that Amy Coney-Barrett announcement. I feel like they could try and be as optimistic and try all they want, but everything is just falling down around them. There's no guarantee, you know, there's just no guarantee that any plans are going to pan out, because this card is just all about things falling apart. So their challenge is to keep that together, to push this through in the face of complete chaos. That's a, you know, very severe challenge for them. Overriding this reading with the 7 of Wands is just fighting. They're defending themselves. They're defending this action. They're defending their intentions. They're just having to beat back all these people who are just absolutely appalled that they're even trying to do this. As voting is already going on, right? It's already happening, not to mention what they did to Obama. So there's a lot of solid cases to be made against what they're doing, and they're having to defend themselves and beat that back. What's foundational to the reading is the Wish card. And you know, this is turning into my Supreme Court Justice card because of these 9 justices on the bench here. What's foundational is their wish to, you know, seat this woman on the Supreme Court. This is what they want to have done. And they think they got everything lined up. You know, they got the money they need, they got the votes they need, their wish is coming true. This is how they're feeling about it. Again, you know, if you look at this, you know, general where they are right now, they're still celebrating. They think they're getting to get this done. They are excited that they think their wish is coming true. They're very challenged, though, still beating back those people who are so angry at what they're doing. With the Magician in the past position, this is showing us the convoluted lengths that they went to make this happen. You know, just like the Magician creates something out of nothing. It's a manipulation card. So they have all their tools. They're trying to manifest their reality. They're trying to manifest this next conservative justice on the bench. And this kind of shows the sort of tricks and the lengths and the things that they, you know, the magic they spun to make this happen. Because by all accounts, it shouldn't have, right? I mean, according to them 4 years ago, let the people decide the election and the next president can pick the nominee. Kamala Harris in her debate even went back to Abraham Lincoln. During the final days of his own administration, he had the opportunity to put a Supreme Court nominee on the bench. And Honest Abe said, nope, it's not the right thing to do. Let the American voters decide the next president, and that person will nominate the Supreme Court nominee. So history is against this. Republicans' own past is against this. We're currently in voting right now. And they know that Biden is winning. So this is manipulation. Manipulation to make this happen. What they're moving into is judgment. So yes, they will be judged for their behavior in this situation. But I'm asking if they're going to be successful. Well, I'm asking if they're going to have 4 no votes to shut this thing down. Are they going to get their 4 no votes to shut this down? And I would say with judgment, this is an ending. Judgment means your actions have been judged, and now the situation is over and you will start a new cycle. So there's definitely an ending that comes along with judgment. Let me put my glasses on. I'm going to count the people on this card here. So I guess the feeling that I'm getting with this judgment card, you can see these blue people. You know, judgment calls, the idea of the card is it calls even the dead up from the graves. Even they will be judged. But given, you know, my question here, I feel like, you know, even even these sick people, so I'm getting the sense that they're being blue, that they're ill, that they're kind of sick, even they will come and hearken to the trumpet. So I guess the feeling that I'm getting here is those 3 Republican senators that have COVID, 2 on the Judiciary Committee, will not use that as a reason to back out of their vote. I feel like even if they're sick, even if they're contagious, even if they need to be, you know, 1 foot in the grave, they will show up to try and push that nominee into her seat. So I'm at least leaning towards a no on those infected senators, that unless they get really, really sick and cannot get out of bed, you know, if they're hospitalized. You know, it's interesting because, you know, these people are blue, which just happens when you're starved of oxygen, right? You're not getting enough oxygen, which is what COVID does. That blue is reminiscent of that. So I definitely think that this question is going to pivot on these 6 senators, whether they show up regardless, or maybe judgment keeps him down. You know, let's dive a little deeper into this, because it's just not telling me exactly what I want to know. So Spirit, I'm asking these 6 senators, are they going to show up and vote? Will they be able to vote? Or are they going to be no's? So here's a judgment card right in the middle. It's going to be my significator. Because Spirit, I'm looking to find out, are these infected senators going to show up to vote? Are these infected senators going to show up to vote? It's probably a better affirmative way to ask this question. Are these infected senators going to show up? All right, let's take a look-see again. Here's our significator. So here's our 3 oxygen-starved, COVID-infected senators right here, reaching up towards judgment. Oof. They are challenged by the devil. All right, they're challenged by the devil, which means that they're being called to do the wrong thing, to take the dark path, to commit that sin, to chain themselves to the devil. This is their challenge, that even if they're laid out in COVID, that pressure is going to be on them to get their infected butts in the Senate and vote in their nominee. Their challenge is that they're going to be tempted to be corrupt, to put other people at risk, to make the wrong choice. This is a very strong challenge for them. What's overriding them with the Empress is abundance, this creative endeavor. So I think this is indicating to me that what's overriding them is their desire to create this situation, to create this justice on the bench, to create this new Supreme Court as they want it, to create this conservative, even more conservative Supreme Court. So yes, they're in the mind of creating an abundance. That's what they're striving for. What's underlying them, of course, with the 2 of Swords, this is a pivotal decision. It can also be indecision. You know, when you're blind, you have 2 hard choices to make. Sometimes it's really, really difficult to figure out the right choice and you end up procrastinating. And that can be really dangerous. So underlying this is them having to make a very serious choice. If they're infected, are they going to go in to Congress and put people at risk to get the devil's work done? Or are they going to stay quarantined and not be able to vote so this situation doesn't come to pass? They have a really critical choice to make. So in the past with the Star, you know, they were really hopeful and optimistic that this was going to happen. They really thought that they're going to put this woman on the Supreme Court, regardless of what they said 4 years ago, regardless of Abraham Lincoln, right? Regardless of the fact that voters are voting and Trump's going to lose. None of that mattered. They had their their star, Amy Coney-Barrett, is going to be pushed through. They're very optimistic and hopeful that was going to happen in the past. What they're moving into is getting away with it. So it's a thief in our midst, trying to get away with something, stealing. So again, I think this supports the previous reading that, yeah, they're not going to care if they're sick. They got to answer to the devil, and they're going to try and get away with this. They are going to try and get away with putting that woman on the Supreme Court bench. They're going to try and have this vote. So I'm afraid, no, we cannot look forward to those 3 Republican senators begging out due to being infectious with COVID, unless they get extremely sick, right? Unless they literally cannot leave their hospital bed, right? That would be the only way around. Only way around that. If they have the means, they're going to be there. They're going to vote. They're going to make this happen. Okay. So I wanted to take a look at one more thing today, and that's that Remdesivir antibody concoction, that compound that they gave to the president. The one said, he says is making him feel great, and, it's a cure. It's a cure, which of course we all know it's not, right? Just because he feels a little better for the moment doesn't mean he's been cured. But, he said he personally doesn't think that he's infectious anymore. This guy's a nutter. But clearly this Remdesivir antibody shot had a really good effect on him. It seemed to have been successful so far. I feel like if he goes downhill again, it'll be more likely because he's not directly in a doctor's care and he's not taking, the care of himself that he's supposed to. But anyways, I want to look at this Remdesivir, I'll call it pharmaceutical. It's an antibody cocktail. It's antibody cocktail. It's Remdesivir antibody cocktail. Is this something amazing that we should all just absolutely be thrilled about? Is there a new tool, a really effective tool now for doctors to use to help all Americans infected with COVID? Or is this a bust? Did Trump just get lucky? Did Trump just get lucky and not have a bad case? I just want to know how successful and efficacious this Remdesivir cocktail is going to be. So, Spirit, show us this Remdesivir antibody cocktail. Is this the beginning of the end for COVID? Is this shot the beginning of the end of COVID? Or will it really just, start saving lives? I want to know, is this successful? Is this something we should be happy about? Is this something that's going to be widespread and just do a lot of good? That's what I want to know. All right. Let's take a look. All right, let's see. So, the indicator card for this reading is the Empress. So this is a brand new created antibody cocktail. It's brand new. It's just gone through testing. It's not available widespread. So this is a new creation. These chemical companies, these pharmaceutical companies, all these medical experts are really coming together. They're really doing some good work to get some treatment for COVID. This is one of their creations, and this card means abundance. So it's a really good start to answer this question. What it's being challenged by with the Seven of Pentacles is review. So the news said that Trump has only been the 10th person outside of clinical trials to receive this shot. So it's still in review. You know, they've done some testing, they've done some trials, but not enough is known about it yet. I don't think they're fully comfortable, you know, making this available across the board. It's still in review. They still got to look at side effects and, you know, the cost of making this thing and how just the process of getting it out there. So this is a challenge. They're not quite done with it. You know, as president, he gets the experimentals, right? He gets more treatments and more options than the regular everyday person. So there's still more work that needs to be done with this drug. We'll just call it a drug, although I know it's an antibody cocktail. We'll just call it that for the time being. So it's over. This reading is the Lovers. So what I'm feeling from this card is this is Trump trying to create a commitment, trying to build a relationship with the makers of this cocktail, of this drug. He wants, because it works so good for him, he just wants to throw it out there, give it to everybody, you know, just put it on the market, just everybody gets this thing. So he wants to basically get in bed with Remdesivir, which is the name of the company that makes this cocktail. He wants to be a partner with them. You know, he wants to be in bed with them. He wants to create a relationship with this company. And let's not forget, I think we already know he's invested in the stock market in this company too. So of course he's going to be able to make some money off of it if it's successful. So yes, we're looking at his desire to create that bond with this company and this medicine. What's underneath, foundational to this reading with the Knight of Swords, is just the need for this, you know, across the country. There's so many people who are sick, and they need every fighting chance they have. They need, you know, if this cocktail, this antibody cocktail is effective, they need it now. I mean, it's like a war on COVID, right? This is just one more knight coming to the rescue, coming to the fight to fight this battle. The energy we pass through is death. So, you know, normally we always say this doesn't mean a real death. It's just an ending and transformation. In this case, I'm going to take this literally. 210,000 plus Americans have died from this disease. Death is across this land right now. That is the whole reason that we're so desperate for any tool to fight COVID. You know, people are dying. You know, it's just this huge tragedy. Where we're moving into with the Ten of Pentacles. So this is money. This is family money. This is inheritance. You know, it's often, you know, been the card for the Trump organization money, but it's family money, it's inheritance, it's legacy. So I think, I'm definitely getting a pull here to one of the main reasons Trump is being such a big cheerleader on this cocktail is because he invested in it. He's going to get paid. If they roll this out across the country, he's getting paid. Can you say emoluments, anybody? Benefiting off of your, you know, your position as president. this president, he's coming out there, Remdesivir, even though that's the name of the company, not the drug. He's pushing it. He's pushing it. It's going to enrich him. But, you know, if it helps people and it saves lives, it needs to be rolled out. So the question is it efficacious? Let me just put a little clarifier on this. Is this an efficacious cocktail? Because yes, people are dying. Yes, the need for this cocktail is very great. Yes, we know that Trump's out there pitching it, and he invested in it, and he's going to make money off it, especially if it goes nationwide. The card just popped out. Queen of Swords. But I want to know if this is efficacious. All right, Spirit. So the world. So this is a new beginning that impacts the world. So I'm going to say, yeah, this is something that's going to be a new beginning for the whole entire world. Because, you know, every country on the planet is suffering now. I am leaning towards yes, this antibody cocktail was really helpful for Trump. Yes, even though it's still in review, you know, that emergency declaration that they're trying to put through to get this out there into the public sphere before trials are really done, which is really super sketchy. But they're probably going to push that through. They're going to start giving it to folks. And yes, even though Trump's going to cash in on this, because that's what he does, cash in on everything, it does indicate a good new cycle for the world. So this is telling me, yes, it could be efficacious. I mean, but really helpful, that maybe it's a new beginning in this COVID fight for every country. Of course, that would take time. You know, that would take a lot of time to produce that many doses, distribute them, of course, to the American citizens, American people, and then to the wider world. But we are looking at a new beginning going forward. A hopeful beginning for the whole world. So I think that's a fortuitous sign. I'm going to take that as some good news. And as long as Trump doesn't decline again, but then again, like I said, if he does, it'll probably be because he's not under a doctor's care, doing anything he's supposed to do, because heaven forbid he follow a doctor's orders. But that's neither here nor there. I think that there's a good potential for this treatment to really help a lot of people, and there's an indication that it will maybe move worldwide and help people all across the world. So let's keep our fingers crossed, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back with you soon, right? Take care.